web services. Okay, so we'll use multiple web service for the practice. Okay, now the next point is the next point. Let's suppose you you are in this batch, right? You done the payment, and due to some personal reason or office workload, you have attended only 5 to 10 classes or 5 classes, or your alternative day you are able to attend the classes, but you are not consistently attend the live classes, right? So I'm giving the facility that if you are not able to attend the classes, then in the next month when I will start the new batch, you will continue that batch without any payment. Okay, so you can continue that particular batch. Okay, uh, join the batch also. Okay, okay, well, if you done the payment, if you want to again go through the live class, then you can just drop the message, I want to take the class, so you can I will add you in that particular group and you can watch. Okay, because in this class we have some of the person, due to some reason they could not attended the class earlier session, right? So
Yes,
if I
I
yeah,
was, yeah, so I was being added by you to this group again.
yeah.
Thanks for that. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
this facility is giving to everyone actually. If you have any due to, because all are doing job, right? Because of
Ye-
some reason we could not attend the classes, right? So there is not restriction. Yeah, you have the recording session, right? You have the downloaded recording session. If you want to go through that, yeah, yes, you can go through that. Otherwise, if you want to attend the live class, then you can attend my live class in the next batch. Okay, and regarding the payment, if you are get satisfied in 1 or 2 days of the classes, demo classes, then you have to do the payment. Okay, any question guys, can I continue?
Vikas, Harshita this side.
Yeah, yeah, Harshita.
I have one concern, Vikas, because see the
Mm-hmm.
classes is from 8:30 to 9:30, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And after 9:30 to 10 o'clock you have a doubt section because yeah, 9:30 to 10 o'clock you have a doubt session, yeah. And but we have a stand-up call with the client at at 9:30, so I cannot continue from 9:30 to 10 o'clock. How can I clarify my doubts if I have it?
In that case, madam, you can just drop me the message, 8:15, right? 8:15 or 8:20, and we
Mhm.
can join the call earlier. Okay,
Okay, okay, fine, yeah.
and we'll try to sort out your issue. Otherwise, when your stand up will get completed, then you can drop me the message, we can continue the call. Okay,
Okay, okay, okay, fine. Thank you
yeah,
so much.
yeah. Okay guys, I'm going to okay, I have already shared my screen and started the recording. So you can see yesterday I have taken the classes, the recording session is here, it get auto dumped here. You can see it here, where it is. It's not loading properly. Yeah, here you can see the recording session is here, and you can see the recording are available for 30 days, so you can download that recording session. Okay, okay, let's get started. Okay, guys, is it fine? Could I go with the yesterday class, because this is our regular class and yesterday was the demo class. So is that fine to go with beginning, which I have also explained the thing yesterday. I will go with the same thing today also and with the new topics. Is that fine for everyone? It's like revision for you as well, and you can make a note as well. Is that fine? Who has attended the yesterday class? If you don't have any problem, if
Yes.
I repeat the thing.
Yes, yes, yes. We don't have any problem.
Okay, fine, fine. Thank you, guys. Uh, Let me call to the person who has. one request, guys, you can mute, like could be better. Let me, last time I'm calling to the everyone so that he can join. And guys, one more thing, let me clear you about the goal. About the goal. So our goal is to know the API testing, to know the RESTful API testing, right? To do the all the basic concept, advanced concept of the APIs, and we'll do the manual testing, how the in real time we can map our requirement, how we can do the manual testing, how we can apply the scenario, how we can communicate with the client, how we can communicate with the developer, how we map the things basically. So first we will learn all the things, the API concept. Okay, after completing the API concept, we will use the Postman tool. The Postman is the open source tool which is highly used in the market by the client. Okay, so in the Postman, we will use the Postman to understand this all the stuff. Okay, after that I will explain you how the things are very similar if you use another tool like SoapUI, Rest Assured, or APG, or Cypress, right? So how the things are very similar if you use some another tool, right? After that, we will do the automation testing, right? In the automation testing, we will learn, whatever the scenario we have covered in the manual side, right? So what is the job of the automation tester? He is converting the manual test case into the automation script. Agree? Right? So he is converting the script, right? So we will do the same thing in the Postman using the JavaScript. Using the JavaScript. So we will spend 4 to 5 classes to learn the basics of JavaScript, which are required to do the automation testing in the Postman. If you don't have knowledge, don't worry, I will teach you. If you have the knowledge, then it is well and good, right? Then you can understand the things more easily. Otherwise, I am here to help you, right? After completing the automation testing and the framework and the designing in the automation, uh, we'll learn the CI/CD, that is Jenkins. Not in the detail actually, because this course is regarding the only APIs, but as part of end-to-end flow, right? We will also discuss the CI/CD tool, that is Jenkins. In the CI/CD, I will explain you how you can create the project and how you can integrate the your Postman collection into the Jenkins, and how you can generate the HTML report at the end, how you can share with the client. And we will also discuss the GitHub, right? In the GitHub, we will discuss how we can commit the things, how we can pull the changes, how we can add the things, how we can check out your branch, right? We will discuss this thing. Okay, and how we'll add your files and the coding in the GitHub actually. Okay, one thing, let me clear, guys. I will not go in detail of Jenkins and the GitHub, right? I will show you what are the required things to for the APIs, because the Jenkins and the GitHub is another 15 hours course. It is huge concept which is majorly used in the project. Okay, so I will use only the things which are required to set up our project. Okay, because I don't want to pass the wrong information to you. Okay, And this course is 30 to 35 hours. Total, it will take 1.5 months. Right. Sometime I will also take the Saturday classes. Sometime, if I miss any of the days classes, then I will also take the Saturday class. Okay. Okay. Let's move here. So, guys, if you talk about what are the types of the testing in the testing industry, okay, so we have two types of testing. If you talk about general term, right, front end testing and the back end testing. Front end and the back end. In the front end, we are doing the testing of user interface. It is the presentational layer. We have the layer. The front end testing means we have the UI, the user interface, which user can interact, which user can see, right? Like in the user interface, like they having the graph, tables, row, columns, and all the things, right? That user can do manually. If you go to the Google Chrome and you can see we have Make My Trip. This is the UI. This is the user interface of the Make My Trip. This is the user interface. Let's suppose I'm taking one banking application example. Guys, I have majorly work on the banking application, right? So I will always try to take the example of banking application or e-commerce site, because these two things are majorly used in the real industry. Agree, guys? Right. So we will use these two things as an example. Okay. So you can see this is the UI of the ICICI Bank, right? If I take like Flipkart. So this is the UI of the Flipkart, the user interface of the Flipkart, right? So this is the front end testing. So in the front end testing, we have the different types of the testing, like smoke testing, regression testing, and what are the types? Integration testing, acceptance testing, right? Unit testing we have. So what do you mean by the functional testing? Means here I have written the front end testing. So in the front end testing, these all are the component. Unit testing, regression testing, acceptance testing, these all are the component which we are doing here to test the any UI application, right? In the case of backend, testing, so guys, tell me, if I am clicking on search button, can you see the backend of this Make My Trip? No, you can't see the backend, right? Let's suppose I went to the ATM. Let's suppose I went to the State Bank of India ATM and I want to withdraw the money, right? I swipe my card as a 10,000 money, right? You withdraw the money. So user can only see the user interface, the screen and the option, the saving account and the current account. You want to withdraw the money, enter the PIN code. You can see the only user interface, but you can't see what is the operation happening in the backend. How money is withdrawing, right? How the banking application calculating, like if you are withdrawing 10,000, then how much balance will in your account, right? So that type of calculation. So in the backend testing, we are testing the business layer, business logic, database layer. So if you look at the what is the difference between front end and the back end, guys, sometimes the small things is very important. you in the interview, you will give the big answer in the very neat and clean way. Sometime what happened, the interviewer asks you very simple question, and you are not able to give the proper answer, right? So the same thing here, you learn the testing, the web service testing, but you don't know the what is front end and back end. So let's suppose interviewer asking you, did you know the back end testing, right? So you are thinking, what is back end testing? I have not did it, but SQL testing, API testing, web service testing is a part of backend testing. Right? So you have to say, yes, I have worked on the backend testing. In the backend testing, we have different types of the testing, like SQL testing, API testing, web service testing, right? We have different types of the testing in which I have worked on the API testing. So this is your answer. So if they, they will ask the question, some another way, right? And they are not directly catch your nose. They will turn your hand and catch your nose, right? So like that, sometimes they will ask you the question, very simple question, guys, right? Okay, let's see. What is the difference between the front end and the back end? I told you in the front end, we always use GUI, graphical user interface. Graphical user interface. In the backend testing, involve the database and business logic testing. Business logic, right? What are the calculation happening? What is the database? How they connecting? How they doing the CRUD operation? That types of the operation we are doing in the backend testing. We will learn more, but let's understand the differentiation only. Okay. GUI is used to perform the testing. Here you can see the graphical. We need one GUI, that is graphical user interface. This is your GUI of the Make My Trip. This is the GUI of the ICICI Bank. This is the GUI of the Flipkart. So if Flipkart want to do the testing, so they have to give the GUI, the graphical user interface, to the employee, right? So that they can do the testing, right? Okay. In the backend, it might be we have the GUI and it is not necessary. It depends. Okay. And one more thing, guys, I want to understand from you guys. This is your Flipkart, right? I want to check this logo or spelling or icon, right? Let's suppose I want to check Make My Trip logo or icon or the color. So while doing this type of testing, tell me, are you saving any data into your database?
No, database is not access for this kind of test.
No. So the same thing here I have written. It does not need any information to be stored in the database. Yes, if you are trying to book the tickets, if you are trying to download, if you are trying to delete any operation, in that case, it will dump the data. It will dump the data in the database. And here, it does need the information in database. If you are doing the backend testing, then we need the database to do the CRUD operation, right? And this thing is clear. What are the, what types of testing we are doing in the functional, like unit testing, acceptance testing?
Unit testing is more to go towards code, right? How can we do front end?
Sorry,
testing?
come again, sir.
Unit test is more towards code, about the function the developer writes.
Yeah.
So that is not UI again. It is based on the code only.
Yeah, it's on the code, but using the coding side you are doing, right? But in the
no. Unit testing is supposing a developer is writing some functions.
Yes,
right?
developer
He's
is
writing
doing.
class and all. Then on that level, when he does the testing, it is unit test. Unit test is mostly done by developers. It's
Yes,
only in
exactly. But
white box testing.
in some of the company, what happened? The tester are the testing guys are also doing the unit testing.
Yeah, I
Like
agree. But then that is black box testing, a
yeah,
white
that
box
is with
testing.
black box testing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
If
then
you
that is not
differentiate
UI.
the front end testing, yeah, that is not the UI, but we can consider like we are testing the UI functionality here actually. Agree?
That will
In
be
the
again
back
system
end,
integration testing, SIT.
you are writing the code for the UI also. Like if you want to do any action, so you are also writing the code, taking the reference of the UI,
Then
right?
that is integration, right? That is backend code integrated with front end. Then we see that
But
it is
you can
deployed,
say that
displayed.
it is not fully comes under the functional. We are not taking the help of the totally UI, but you can't fully decline the things that we are not, taking the help of the graphical user interface. Okay, so you can't decline that thing also. We are also taking the help of the UI actually to do the unit testing. Okay, so that's why it's also comes under the functional testing. Now, let's understand the backend testing. In the backend testing, we have the web services. Okay, so let's discuss some good example. I'm trying to draw something on the screen, which I have already discussed yesterday, but let's try to discuss in detail also. Okay, so I'm trying to draw one picture here. Okay, this is hotel, right? This is your hotel, and you are guys. You can mute. Guys who has already attended the yesterday demo classes, for them it is revision for them actually. Okay, so yeah, so I'm hungry, man. After coming from the office, I want to take the food, right? So what I will do, I will go to the hotel. I will go to the hotel and take the table, right? And take the table, right? And in that hotel, we have the self service, right? So what I have to do, I will go to the kitchen counter or the counter where they are taking the order, right? I will go to that counter, and what I will do, I will let me establish the connection. So this is your kitchen. Okay, and I come to the kitchen counter and I have given the food order like one burger, two pizza, right? And the kitchen chef has taken my order, right? After my food get prepared, then I will again go to the counter and take the food and come to my seat, right? So this thing is very hectic sometime to go and make the queue, then give the payment and give the order, then again come to the counter, take the food, right? So make the things very easy. What I will do, I will introduce one person. That person name is waiter. That person name is waiter. Okay, this is the waiter. Right. So what waiter will do, when you enter into the hotel and taken your seat, this waiter come to your place and asks you that how can I help you, sir? Right. And you are asking that I need this particular food. You can give the food name, and they will take the order and come to the kitchen chef, right? And they will pass you the order to the kitchen chef, and the kitchen will prepare the order for you. And when your order get ready, then again waiter come to here, take the food, and again come back to the your table, right? and then you are taking that food, right? So guys, tell me what the role of waiter. Can I say the waiter is mediator between the customer and the kitchen? It is the mediator. He is establishing the connection between the customer and the kitchen, right? He is the mediator, right? So this mediator is known as a web service in simple term, in simple example. This is known as a web service. This is known as a web service, guys. Okay, let's understand this thing, guys. You can mute. In very simple term, technically language. Okay, now the web service is the mediator, and this is your application one, and this is your application 2. Can I say this web service is making the communication between application 1 and application 2 in another way? Can I say like that? Guys, you can please mute. Sweta, I think you can. Okay. So can I say in different language, this is the device 1 and device 2. Can I say web service is making the communication, establishing the communication between device 1 and device 2? Between the application 1 and application 2 in different language I am explaining you, right? So that you don't have the confusion if anyone using this term, that so that your basic is clear what he is trying to say. Okay, so why they are making the communication, guys? Anyone can tell me why this communication is happening? Can I say this thing to exchange the data? I am hungry, right? I want to take the food. I come to the hotel and I am paying the money to the hotel, right? And the hotel giving me the food. So can I say there is exchange of data in the form of anything? Either it is money, either it is knowledge, either it is any form, guys, any exchange of things. You are giving these things, I am giving you this thing, replacement of the thing, exchanging of things, right? So there is exchange of data, exchange of information, right? So let's suppose we make a deal like if you teach me API, then I will teach you the Java, right? So there is exchange of information, right? Same thing is happening here, right? In the web service, there is exchange of data between the two applications, between the two devices, between the two users. Okay, now guys, you can mute, please. Now guys, let's suppose I am very poor person. I went to the hotel. So the waiter will provide the service for me or not? Or let's suppose the small kid entered to your hotel. Tell me, the web service provide the waiter will provide the service or not? And he will take the order of that small kid and come to the kitchen and give the order and take the food and again come back to that kid or not? Let's suppose the old person. Can web service, can waiter provide the service for the old person or not? Let's suppose young lady, can waiter will provide the service for the young lady or not? So waiter will provide the service for all, right? So what I am trying to say, does not matter that one application is built in which language. Either it is C#, either it is Java, either it is in Java, either it is in PHP, either it is in Angular, So one application, let's suppose built in Java, and kitchen, the kitchen is built in .NET, right? So if you are using the web service, there is no matter in which app, in which language, using which database they are built in, right? Two applications can communicate with each other. So in web service, there is platform independent. Okay, the same thing, same concept, you can see it here. The services available over the web, the method of communication between the device and the application, it's enable the communication between the application. Platform independent. Using the web service, we can exchange the information, we can talk each other. Okay, here is the simple diagram, simple basic diagram. The client, let's suppose, take one technical example. Let's suppose I am taking Make My Trip. I am taking the Make My Trip example. Okay, this is your Make My Trip, right? When I clicking on the search button, can you see that in the response we have different flight details with the different fares and the time, right? So what did you think that how Make My Trip establishing the connection between these different airlines companies? Okay, so let's try to understand. Okay, so this is the Make My Trip. This is the Make My Trip. Okay, Make My Trip. And let me create the other flight company. So this is Air India, and this is the SpiceJet. Okay, now okay, this is the SpiceJet. Now let me create two more. Let me, this is the Sahara, let's suppose, and there is one more. Let's suppose this one is Go Air. Okay, so I'm not asking about only Make My Trip, any traveling site, how this traveling site establishing the connection, how this Make My Trip or any traveling site fetching the data of this airline company, right? So there are few probability that this Make My Trip will access the Air India, SpiceJet, Go Air and Sahara database and look into his database and access the database. But in the real time, it is not possible. No company wants to third party to look into his database because it is security related stuff. No one allow you to look into that. So what happened? Let me establish the connection first between this application, between this application. So guys, I will always try to explain you by very simple way, in very simple way, because in this class the most of the person are coming from the manual background or coming from the non-technical background like telecom branch. Okay, so I will explain you in very simple way so that you can understand. Okay, not one time, multiple time I will repeat the things until unless when you not understand the thing. Okay, so what I will do, this is the application 1 and this is the application 2. This is the application 1 and this is the application 2. This is the application 1 and this is the application 2. This is the application 1 and this is the application 2. So Make My Trip want the data from Delhi to Mumbai in the date of 22. Then what happened? When I clicking on the search button, it's connecting with the Make My Trip server, right? When Make My Trip server connect with his server, then it's connecting with the different services, different web services which are tie up with the Make My Trip, Okay, so this Air India, SpiceJet, Sahara, Go Air provide his own web service to the traveling company, and he's asking to the traveling company, if you need any information, if you want create any data, you can connect with my web service and he will connect with me. You can't directly connect with me. So Air India provide the web service to the Make My Trip or any traveling site. When I hitting the request, then it's connecting with the web service, and this web service connecting with the server, connecting with the third party server like Air India. It's connecting with the Air India and fetching the data, and after that it giving the response to the Make My Trip. Okay, now what happened? Now Make My Trip don't have to directly access the Air India. Now there is the medium. So guys, what is the benefit of that? Air India create only one web service, and provide that web service to different flight company, flight booking. So they will create only one web service and they are providing that web service to Make My Trip. Same web service, the Blinktrip and GoIbo and Go India Indigo and Happy Easy Go, right? Yatra.com, right? And Paytm, IRCT. So they are not creating the separate web service for the different flight company. They will create only one web service, right? And they will provide the access to his web service to the different flight company, and asking to that flight company go and use this web service. So guys, tell me how they Make My Trip earning the money and how the flight company earning the money. So if Air India providing the web service so that the customer, the user can book his ticket from the different site, like Make My Trip he can also book, GoIbo he can also book, Go Indigo also book. So the user can use the different application to book his ticket, right? So the airline company, booking his ticket, right? They are earning the money by booking his ticket, right? And Make My Trip, they are also taking some commission from the Air India, right? Because they are booking the ticket from the Make My Trip site. and also the advertising and all the stuff, right? But you know, this is the benefit of the web service, to act as a mediator, to exchange the data, right, between the two applications. Now the question is, if the interview asks you, let's suppose the Air India is built in C# or in Java, and the application which you are using, let's suppose Make My Trip, it is built in Angular, right? So using the web service, can C# application, can Java application communicate with the Angular application? Yes, you can say yes. So if you are using the web service, there is not, it is platform independent. The one language can communicate with the other language using the web service. Doesn't matter in which language it is built on. Clear? Okay. Now moving to the forward. Now same, I have created the diagram for that. Here you can see, this is the web service, this is the application 1, this is the application 2. The application 1 is built in Java, and the application 2 is built in .NET. So Java is able to communicate with the .NET, and .NET is able to communicate with the Java and the PHP. The same thing I have written here, same thing in the wording. Okay. Now the question is, who is creating the web service?
Vikas?
Who? Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
So can you tell me API where that comes in, like web service, that is only like there the API, or where we call it API testing, no? So API where it comes in?
Yeah, I will explain you that concept, ma'am. So don't worry. In the web service, it's come the APIs, right? I will clear that thing. Okay. If you go here and down in the document, here you can see the APIs meaning, what is the API meaning, and what is the web service version and API. What is the both are difference. Okay. So don't worry, I will explain you. Okay. We'll learn step by step. If you have, if you have any query, then let me know. If I will discuss that thing in the coming class, then I will tell you, I will discuss that thing in the coming class. If I miss the thing and it is not in my list, then I will explain you. Okay.
Vikas sir?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Actually, I have one doubt. You said like the application 1 is developed in Java and the application 2 is developed in .NET, or vice versa, any other languages. Do we know these languages before doing this testing, or because I'm basically from different background, so I don't know these languages like .NET or Java?
No. I'm just explaining you. This is in the real time. Actually, you don't have to worry that in which language it is built in. Actually, you don't have to worry. Actually, okay. So if you go to the Make My Trip, and if you go to the inspect, right? If you go to the inspect, here you can see HTML head. And here the developer has used some tagging here. Some tagging should be here. I think it is built in Java actually. The Make My Trip. Okay. So script AngularJS image script. I think they have used the JavaScript language. The scripting language is JavaScript. Here you can see the JavaScript, right? They have used the JavaScript and the Java to implement this Make My Trip actually. Okay, so this is not your concern that which app, in which language it is built in, right? Because if you want to know that in which language it is built in, then you can communicate with your developer that the application which you are providing to test me, in which language it is built in, right? If you start working in your project, then lot of communication will happen there, right? So you will easily know that then in which language your application is built in, right guys? I think when you are working in your project, during your sprint planning and the stand-ups, and we have lot of meetings. So in that meetings, you can easily know that the application which you are going to test in which platform it is built in, right? Agree? Otherwise you are discussing that thing with your team lead, that the application which we are using, that in which language it is building. Then your team lead or your developer will say that we are using the C# to write the code, or Java to write the code. Actually, if you not get clear, then you can discuss with your team lead in which application, in which platform your application is built in. Okay, clear sir? You don't have to worry that in which platform it is built in. Your job is the testing. Okay, your job is testing. You don't have the concern that in which language it is built in. Actually, it is the developer concern. Actually, it is the developer concern. Okay, your job is only to do the testing. Okay, if you want to know, if you are interested, then you have to, otherwise you have to inspect the element. You have to go through the inspect element. You have right click on that element, right click on the application, go to the inspect, and here you will see you have to find the things. Actually, using the tag and notation, you have to find the things in which language they have used. You can see the script type is JavaScript, right? So most probably it is built in JavaScript, right? The make my trip. Okay, so like that you can say the things, right? It is built in which language. And if you are not getting the idea that this application is in which language it is built in, you can discuss with your developer, because always we are coordinating with the developer. Without developer, we also can't complete our work, right? So we, in the real time, we always coordinating with the developer. Clear, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So now the question is, who is creating the web service? So in the team, we have the developer, right? Developer and the architect person, right? So they are responsible to create the web service. So we can say the service provider. He is providing this service. Let's suppose the Amazon, AWS. So Amazon is providing one services, that is AWS. If you want to use that service, you have to purchase. After then you can use the cloud service, right? If anyone want to use their service, then you have to purchase, right? So if anyone, let's suppose Amazon is creating AWS, right? Then Amazon is the service provider who is implementing and developing the web service and make it available over the internet. Who is creating the web service? That is known as a service provider. Let's suppose my company, let's suppose my company, I am working in the Flipkart, and Flipkart implemented one web service, right? So, and they are selling his service in the market. Now, the Flipkart is the service provider. Flipkart is the service provider who is selling his service and make it available over the internet. So simple term, if they will ask you what did you mean by the service provider, a web service provider who develop the application means web service, and make it available over the internet. Right. Now, this is your client. This is the client and this is your server. When I hit the book now, button, the make my trip connect with the server. I am the client. When I click on book now, it will instantly connect with the Make My Trip server, where your server is hosted, where Make My Trip server is hosted. They will connect with the server. That is this server and service provider, right? The client service provider, the client service consumer, and server service provider, right? The client sending the request and the server providing the response. So guys, I am asking you one basic question, and give me the answer. Guys, I'm also like you, right? I'm not the very expert. I have only 8 years of the experience, right? But I have learned a lot of things in my 8 years, right? So I am also trying to learn the things, always new things, right? So be friend with me and always try to give the answer. Always, either it is wrong or right, doesn't matter. Always try to give the answer. Okay. So I am using Make My Trip. What happened? Make My Trip. Yeah. Now, anyone can tell me, if I searching Mumbai and Delhi in the date of 22 and clicking on this search. Now tell me, what is my request here? What is the request I'm sending to the server?
From value Mumbai to value Delhi, departure dates selected is the thing that we send to server.
Yes. So I'm sending the request, and my request is, guys, you can mute. I am begging to the Make My Trip. Please give me the response. Please give me the flight between Mumbai to Delhi in the date of 22. I'm requesting
also
to the
traveler number of passengers.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
Depends on what we are passing the information. So the information which you are passing to the server, that is request. That is known as a
Post.
request. You are requesting to the server, right? So same thing here, which I have written here. The client sending the request to the server, and based on the request, when I click on the search, it will quickly connect with the server, and based on your request, they will provide you the detail. You can see it here. They will provide you the detail, right? So this thing is happening in fraction of second. Fraction of second, guys. Fraction of second, right? So you can't say like how these things are in fraction of second they are getting, right? So this thing are in millisecond they are connecting with the server, and server connecting with their database, and they are checking the request body, and based on the request body they will check the data and return the response, right? In fraction of second actually. Okay, now what is the medium here? What is the medium? So guys, internet, and guys, I will take only 2 minutes, guys, to end this call, because we already 9:30. Let me finish this thing. So we have medium is HTTP and internet. So guys, tell me, if you not use the internet, can you open the Make My Trip, ICICI Bank or Flipkart, Amazon, any site?
Yeah, no. Can intranet if it is in the office. I don't need internet. I can have LAN network.
Yeah, that's the things using, you can do that. But generally, can I say this is our the internet is our medium to open the site, any application. This is your medium, right? And can you say, if you're asking that the intranet, so can you tell, without intranet can you open the application?
Internet or intranet, both is required. Either.
Both. Okay, let's suppose internet is not there and intranet is also not there. So tell me, without intranet, can you open the application?
No.
No. So we need one medium to access your application, right? So the first thing is internet, and the second thing is the protocol. The protocol using HTTPS. If you talk about the web application, using this protocol, using HTTP, they are connecting with the server. So this is the medium.
But it can be any, right?
Connect with the
What about mobile? Mobile will not have
Sorry?
HTTPS.
Okay, let's suppose you are using this application, you are opening in the mobile. So you can't see the HTTPS there?
In the application,
Or
I
you are
don't
asking
see.
that in the mobile application, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But when you copy the link of that mobile application and when you hit that thing in the browser, then it will show you the HTTP. But internally, if you are using the mobile application, they internally implemented that thing.
But
Internally,
even if I copy the URL from mobile, it does not show me HTTPS. It shows m dot something m.
yeah,
The
basically,
URL changes. The protocol is
sorry,
not
come again.
HTTP or HTTPS. It is m dot m colon with 2 slashes, not HTTPS.
Okay, so yeah, so in the case, that is also the web application which we are using, right? In the case of mobile application, we are using some different protocol actually, right?
Yeah.
In the web application, we are using the HTTPS. Okay, if you are using the mobile application, then in that case, we are using some other protocol to connect with this server, to connect with the application.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Now the format is, if you talk about the web service, the format is XML and the JSON. Using the XML and the JSON, you can connect with the server. You have to follow the format actually. So we will discuss this thing, in detail, right? In very detail in coming classes. So we already, going out of time. So we can end this session now, and we will meet in the same time tomorrow 8:30 to 9:30. If any one person is new in this batch, you can drop the message that you are interested in this course, so that I can consider you for this batch. Okay, so if you are interested, then drop the message. I can consider you for this class actually. Yeah, guys, tomorrow we will discuss further, right, types of the web service testing in tomorrow class. Okay, so guys, thank you. And if you have any query, then please let me know. Now we have the doubt session.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you.
If you don't have any query, then you can left the call. If you have the query, then you can discuss with me.
Vikas, are you going to share that document which you have shown right now?
Yeah, I will share the documents, sir. At least you have to, complete the payment. After then, I can share you the documents, sir. Actually, okay. So I will share the detail with you, the payment detail. Take 1 or 2 class, sir. Chill pill, right? So take 1 or 2 class. Try to, if you are very much confident that you can continue the class, yes, it is benefit for you, then you can do the payment, sir, and I will share you the document. Okay, is that fine?
Yes, Vikas.
So Vikas, so you told now
Yeah.
that we'll be sending the request, that is like make my trip you took, and you showed that the whatever the date we provide, those values all will go and hit the server. Next, what happens, that web service you will be explaining in tomorrow class, or how it is?
Yeah, that I will explain. This is I'm taking as an example. We in coming classes we will not use make my trip. We will use the postman, and we will pass all the things here actually, the URL, the method, the body, and then we will try to connect with the server. So
Okay,
this thing is
because
as an example
can you
or
just
the
complete that one, like how you told now, giving the example of Make My Trip, the
Mhm.
like the request goes over to the web
Okay,
server,
let me
how the
show
web
you. Let
server
me show
hits
you.
the like web
Okay, let
service,
me show
that
you.
web ser yes.
Okay, let me show you. That thing is the coming classes, but you asked me the question, let me discuss. So if you, let's suppose I am using the Make My Trip, right? And let me go to the network section, and let me clear this thing. I have cleared this thing. When I hit this application, when I hit this application, this is your the base URL which the Make My Trip is using. Here you can see the request URL. I will copy this URL. I will copy this URL and go to here in the postman, and I will pass it here, right? And what is the method here? Get. I will pass the get method, and I will try to call. So you can see it here. It connect with the Make My Trip, and it's give me the response. This is the response actually. When you go here and check this one, so this response which you are getting from the Make My Trip is similar to here. Right. So we will, there are a lot of things when we will look at the mapping section. How do you map the things actually? How the requirements are coming, how the web service requirement, how the REST API requirements are coming, how we are mapping the things in the Postman. Okay, there are a lot of things, the method, URL, the body, header, authorization, param, all the things we have to create to connect with the server. If you miss any of the things, you can't connect with the server, and Connect will not provide you the information.
Okay.
Okay.
And can you tell me the difference between the web server and the application server?
Okay, web servers and the application server. Okay, so uh, this is your application server which you are using, the UI. Okay, the application which you are using here, the GUI is known as a application server, which you have the GUI, right? And if you talk about the web server, what did you mean by the web service, right? So here you can see it here. Give me a second. Yeah, the web service are implementation of the API, the communication, the same thing. The web service is doing the communication over the application network or HTTP, right? And what happened? This application server, right? This is the application server. And when you inspect the things, it's calling to your web service. This is the, when I hit this API, when I hit this API, you can see it here. If you go to the header, you can see this is the Flipkart, right? So it's connecting with the web server, the web services. And when you are using as a UI, the graphical user interface, that is your application server. Right, when the GUI related stuff is the application stuff, right? And the database related stuff, the backend related stuff is the web service stuff. Okay, in simple term you can understand. Okay, so we will discuss this thing in detail. Okay, right, what did you mean by the application, web server, and the APIs? Right, how both the things are interrelated, all the things are interrelated, but the confusing how we can differentiate the thing. So that I will explain you in the coming classes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Vikas,
any other query?
one question. Yes. So you said like request we will pass from UI. So it is said like API testing is we can perform API testing. GUI is not available. Okay, so we can go with API testing. We can start API testing. GUI is not available. So what will be the request we will be sending to the
Okay,
what
so
will be the client?
okay, we will not use the graphical user interface. We will take the help of any tool, right? Where we can map the things, and let's suppose I have passed the make my trip, the selected as a method, and I will pass the request body. If there is any request body, I will pass the things here and connect with the server actually.
So what
Okay,
will be
so
the get method? Like here you are using make my trip, that is UI.
ma'am, I will explain you all the things. Uh, let's go, one or two, three classes, let's over. After then, you will get all the clear concept. Okay, what did you mean by the post, get, push, patch, right? All the things we will discuss. All the things we will discuss, ma'am. In the one class, I can't differentiate all the things. Okay, so if you ask me the question like how you are saying that in the APIs it's not connect using the GUI. So in the API we are using the any code, any tool. Using code you can also do. If you want to do through the code, in that case you have to use the REST assured tool. If you want to use any tool like SoapUI, JMeter or Postman, then you have to map your service. You have to first create your request and you have to map the things here, and then you can connect with the server actually. Okay.
Okay.
Any other query? Any other query, guys? If you have any query, then let me know. Otherwise, you can quit the call and we can discuss the things tomorrow.
Yeah, because this is Ramita. Like, I just want to understand what is the business logic. When you say it's a backend testing, we have a database testing and a business logic, right? You said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So what
you
is
want
business
to
logic?
understand the business logic. Okay. So nowadays, the web service is too much famous in the market actually. So whatever the testing you can do in the front end, right? So let's suppose I want to do the make my trip testing, right? So I am searching the flight from Mumbai to Delhi in the date of 22, right? Whatever the testing, the smoke testing, regression testing, integration testing, all the testing we can do. Data related testing, we can do all the types of testing using the API testing, and it is more easier to do as compared to the UI, and it will also save the employee time if you do the API testing. If anything is not working in the backend in the API, 110% it will also not work on the UI side. 110% it will not work on the UI side. So to test this application, let's suppose I want to test the make my trip from Mumbai to Delhi in the date of 22 and returning is this value, right? Or want to take the hotel, you want to check the different types of hotels and book the hotels, right? And holidays, right? Let's suppose you want to book the ICICI Bank, you want to check the pension, loans, car loan, right? So you have to use the application. If you are a tester, you have to first get the application, then you have to go to that if you want to check loan, then you have to go to that particular section, then you have to apply the scenario, right? So same scenario we can do it in the API testing without opening the application. without opening the ICICI bank and make my trip in very simple way and in less time. So that's why the API testing is more, popular in the market. Most of the company, they are using the API testing. And let's suppose I have created one application. Right? And one web service application, and there is a let's suppose I have implemented one loan application. In that loan application, I have written all the logics of loan. Right? Now we have the multiples bank. Let's suppose SBI bank, ICICI bank, PNB bank, right? Bank of Baroda. We have different bank, and all the banks are using the loan concept. Right? Now either there is one option, the bank company will create his loan application, they will hire one team, they will create one whole loan concept, they will write the logic, they will implement the loan concept. Right? It will take time and more resource. Right? To overcome from this thing, what they will do, they will purchase the loan application from the third party. They have only changed his data, what data they want to reflect. They will use the service of another. Right? And they will change the logo and what are the required things, they will change that one and launch to the market. Right? So similarly SBI is using. Now ICICI also want to use. Right? So ICICI is also, what ICICI will do, they will also use the same service, and they can use, they will change the template, like whatever the things they want to change, and they can change and they can use. So what happened, the third party, let's suppose the Google has created the loan feature, and they have created only one time the web service, and that web service is used by the multiple company, the SBI, PNB, Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda, HDFC Bank, Citibank, all the different companies the banking company is using. Right? So can you tell me the Google is earning money or not? He has created only one web service, not each and individually, they are not creating individually service for each of the company. They are created only one, and they are selling, and they will provide the session that if you want to use that, you want to change your logo and your template you want to define, then they will, they have the BA team, they have the business team, they will explain all the things actually. Right? And this is the way to make the money actually. The banking application, the banking company is also saving his time and the money. If they want to use loan, then they have to create the team, developer team and the testing team, all the teams. Then they have to start implementing the loan feature, then they will implement. They don't want to do that things. Right? So instead of that, they are purchasing the service of another company. Clear, ma'am? Both the companies are earning money actually. They are doing his business actually. Clear?
Yeah, so this web services that is being the service provider is like the like AWS, Amazon, they are purchasing from them.
No, this Amazon is selling his service to another party, not purchasing from them. He is selling his product.
Yeah, so this airline and then the travel site, who is purchasing this from Amazon? Is airline or the travel site?
Let's suppose we have taken the example of Make My Trip. Right? When I click on the search, we get the different companies like Air India, SpiceJet. So what happened? This airline company will create the web service and providing to not only Make My Trip. In the market, we have different companies available, right?
Yes.
GoAbo
Yes.
and ClearTrip, they are different. So
Yeah.
what Air
Okay,
India do? They
yeah.
have one time they have did the things, right? They have created the web service one time and they are selling to the others, right?
Right.
If you want
Yes.
to use, then you can use. If they are not selling, let's suppose they are not selling, right? Because there is the benefit of the Air India. They are free, they are providing, asking to them whatever, let's suppose I am the Air India company owner and I want to book my all the 200 seat, right? So what I will do, I will provide one web service and providing to the third party that if you want to book the ticket, then use my use my web service and you can use either free, either charge it. It depends on the company.
Yeah.
If they are earning the money using the free, because if they use this application web service, the customer will book the ticket, then ultimately who is getting the help? Air India.
Yes.
Right. So Air India. So what happened if Air India thinking that why should I charge? If there is already I'm getting the benefit by providing these services, then they will provide the free web service to the Make My Trip. Right.
Yeah,
If
right,
they
right,
want to
yeah.
charge, they will charge also. It's up to the service provider. They want to charge or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thing, ma'am?
Yes. So web services means as a tester, what we are testing then?
Web service, you can see, we can say that who is providing the services, the company. Inside the company, we have the developer tester. Okay. We can't say developer and the tester is the service provider. I'm working in any organization, right? I'm not the owner of the web service. Owner of the web service is the company. Let's suppose
That is okay. But I'm asking that as a tester means I'm working as a manual tester, and then I'll be working as a API testing means what I will be doing with the web services.
I will test that web service, whatever the developer has implemented, whatever the developer has written the logic inside the web service, inside the REST API, I will test that web service that is written in the correct way or not. The same way which we are doing in the manual testing of the UI. Let's suppose the UI, the manual guys has implemented, developer has implemented this application. So tell me, when as a manual tester, what are the things you are testing here? If you get this case,
yeah, so the GUI and the functionality testing.
Right, same thing there. Same thing we will do in the API testing also. Same thing. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? No? Okay, guys, then we can meet tomorrow in the same time, 8:30 to 9:30. If anyone is new in the batch, then you can drop the message that you are interested. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vikas. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.